Let me introduce you to three babies. Three babies taking part in a unique scientific research project. This is Harper. She was born in May 2023. Florence was born 2 weeks later. And Axel was born 3 weeks after Florence. Amid the constant challenges of caring for a little one, the parents of these babies have volunteered to film them as they grow and change, gathering a record of their behavior to help us understand the intricacies of babies' complex movements. Over 100 families have agreed to film their infants for our pioneering project at the University of Sussex. For the first 8 months, they film their babies from the same angle, the camera looking down on the baby, who's wearing the same onesie and lying on the same yoga mat, enabling our team to use AI software to analyze every twitch or fidget, every leg raise, elbow bend, kick, and stretch. Our project will monitor these babies for the first 3 years of their lives, exploring how their early movements are connected to their later social and communication abilities. Finding new, evidence-based ways of assessing if a baby's development is healthy. We may also find a much-needed early detection system for conditions such as autism. This is Harper, in front of our camera for the first time. She is being filmed by her parents, Charlotte and Steve. She was born just 6 days ago. Axel is just 8 days old, filmed by Mum Georgia. And Florence, filmed by Ellie, is 12 days old. Infants at this tender age move spontaneously, not voluntarily, and they tend to follow the same kinds of patterns. Yawning, stretching, sticking their tongues out, their tiny bodies are practicing for the future. Every possible movement, flexing every joint in their body, preparing their muscles to put them into different postures, so one day they will be able to roll over, sit up, crawl, stand, and interact with people and objects in the complex world around them. All of these movements are important, but our project is interested in one very specific pattern of bodily actions, a pattern we call writhing. This is writhing. It starts with the legs twisting round, and then it moves up the spinal column to the arms, and usually involves the feet and the wrists rotating too. Her movements are quite stiff because she's so young, but we expect her writhing to get smoother, more fluid, more connected as she progresses.
Writhing movements start even before a baby's born. In healthy development, these movements look like babies are little belly dancers. They're moving their wrists and their ankles. Everything looks quite fluid, and actually movement moves up and down the spinal column, so you might see the legs first and then the torso all the way up to the arms and the head. They're moving every single joint in their body, twisting round and round, up and down, and that's great. It's preparing the body for those next stages of movements, which are voluntary ones.
Jasmine Hall, our remarkable PhD student, has been trained by clinicians to enable her to spot general movements like writhing.
The term writhing comes from writhing like a snake. In the most optimal writhing general movement, a clinician will see, some ankle movements starting, and they'll be moving up through the legs and then through the body and through the torso. So speed, variability of their movement, their plane of space, are they using just this plane of space, or are they using everything available to them? Are they exploring their whole environment? And this baby is showing variability of speed. It's quite slow right now. It will start to speed up a little bit, and you can see that they're moving in a way that's exploring. The arm is moving this way, but on top of that, it's flexing, and also the wrist is moving. And so that all together is one complete variable movement, joint movement. And that's happening across the whole body.
Somewhere after about 8 weeks or so, babies' writhing movements start to disappear, but they're replaced by another reflexive movement called fidgety movements. Now, fidgety movements are much harder to spot, but they can be seen really easily with a keen eye by looking at the wrists, the ankles, the shoulders, and the hips. They're tiny little balance movements, little tiny rotations that are actually training the baby's muscles to put them into different positions. They need this balance to start to roll over, sit up, crawl, and eventually walk.
To help us analyze the vast quantities of information we get from our baby videos, Jasmine has created a coding manual, which enables her to assign a data point for every single movement the baby makes.
This is the coding manual being put into action, where I have individual columns that belongs to individual joints. What I'm doing is I'm coding every single joint, every single flexion, extension that the baby does in a 2-minute video. And what's interesting is, one 2-minute video could have up to 1,000 data points, which means that the baby has moved, 1,000 times in those joints.
This gigantic task has taken Jasmine 2 years so far. But we still need to work out not just the frequency of the baby's movements, but their quality. How well is the baby moving? And that's where our software programmer, Dr. Sabir Sotuda, comes in. He's developed an astonishing AI system which uses the data to model general movements. Just look at the complexity and detail which is recorded when Harper bends her right arm.
Currently, the background is white. It means that there is no movement in the elbow. When the background is red, it means that there is a movement, a flexion in the elbow. And when it's blue, it means that there is an extension.
Sabir's system measures the acceleration, the angle, and the velocity of the elbow bend, as well as how smooth or jerky it is. And it does this for every movement captured on every frame of video.
That amount of data, we have been able so far to calculate more than 900,000 of movements.
So that's nearly 1 million movements logged already, and we're still only halfway through the project. While all this is going on, our research assistant, Dr. Hannah Rowan, deals directly with the families, collecting a different kind of information.
It's lovely to see you, Andrea, and thanks for doing a violin today on Phoebe's first birthday.
That's all right, very exciting to speak to you.
My role on the study was to recruit all our participants at the start and then keep them happy and engaged and sending in their data. So I think we know the drill by now. Either every week or every other week, I conduct a Vineland survey, which involves either calling them or doing a Zoom call to go through a survey which looks at their baby's behaviour, their social and communication behaviour, and also their motor skills. Does she respond to your voice by looking often, sometimes, or never?
Yes, often.
Does she look at your face?
Yes.
Does she respond to questions that use the word who?
No.
I think it helped that I'm a parent myself. I've been through what they're going through and could really empathise with them when things got difficult.
So why are we bringing together motor movements and social and communication development? It's because clinicians who examine babies have always known that there's a link, but there's never been an attempt to document and measure it on this scale before. We're filling in a major gap in the literature which could help future children. And there's also the prospect of finding early signs for conditions such as autism.
Sometimes babies don't show this healthy movement, and in fact, the complexity or the variability is disrupted, so the movements might look a bit monotonous, or they might look super chaotic, or maybe even jerky. Now, some of these features have been linked already to conditions like cerebral palsy, but we now think that there are features of these movements that might also associate with other conditions like autism. Our current situation is that we wait until babies have some issues with their social or communication behavior before they are even screened for conditions like autism. What we want to do is bring it really early in life to understand how those motor movements are affecting the way that babies start to make their different postures, which affect the way that they start to navigate the social and the physical world. Because as a baby starts to move their head, support their body in sitting, crawling, standing, they're able to access many more faces in an upright position. This is pivotal for their social development. They're also able to start reaching out, grabbing objects, manipulating them. These are all really important milestones, not only in understanding the physical world around them, but it also helps them to start prepare their brains for language development.
As for our 3 babies, they're coming towards the end of 8 months. They're reaching a point where spontaneous general movements phase out, and they're starting to move voluntarily of their own accord. Even if we wanted to film them on the mats, we couldn't, as they're now old enough to crawl away. But our project doesn't end here. We will continue to monitor our baby's development in other ways, analyze the information, and share the findings.
We're only halfway through the Baby Grow project, but we are already getting some pretty incredible results. So watch this space, keep following our work here at the University of Sussex.